What is the role of religion in our ever-changing world? From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Issues of Faith.
Hello everyone and welcome. Glad you are with us today. We are talking about a very unique ministry that seeks to meet people where they are. And we're very happy to have with us Matt Hall, no relation. Matt is the Appalachian Trail Chaplain for the United Methodist Church. Appalachian Trail Chaplain. So that's just as it sounds.
Yes,
very, I think it's very unusual. So I guess explain what you do.
So the Appalachian Trail runs 2,200 miles from Georgia to Maine, and it sees about 15,000 people a year that attempt a through hike. So pretty much our goal is to go outside the church walls and to meet people and be a presence on the trail to pray with people, communicate with people, do life with people, really. That's our main goal, is to just be somebody that's there to support and encourage along the way.
So this is something the Methodist Church has done for several years. You're actually the fifth, is that right?
Correct, sir.
The fifth. And how did you come to this ministry?
A very strange occurrence of events. I was actually at a point in my life, very young, into ministry, trying to look for different ways outside of a regular context of being in a pulpit. And so I was looking into chaplaincy positions. The co-founders of the ministry, Alan Ashworth and Bob Hayes, they are very involved with camping ministries. And they were at a camp that's about 30 minutes from my house in Freeze, Virginia. And so they were there for the week doing the ministry that they do then. And somebody had actually called me and said, why don't you come here and talk to them about this ministry opportunity? So I drove out there, and they had some free time, so I got to meet and talk with them, communicate with them about this Appalachian Trail chaplaincy, as it is.
Appalachian Trail, many people are doing this. This is, how many miles is it?
2,200.
2,200 miles from Georgia all the way up to Maine.
Yes, sir.
There are many people doing this, and they're doing it for different reasons. What is it that you have found? Why are some people doing this? And do you think they are people that can benefit from some kind of ministry?
Completely. In my experience, I've found not only people I've met on the trail, but reading and communicating with people that have hiked the trail, and also communicating with past chaplains that have done it before me. They find that a lot of people go to the trail, they're either looking for something or they've lost something. Some people go for grieving. In fact, the entire Appalachian Trail became this dream back in the 1920s because a man started grieving. And so they go out there searching for something. And, depending on what's out there, you can find what you're looking for. So to have a presence for the church, somebody to go out there and just show love and be the hands and feet of Jesus, that's really what we're out there to do. For me personally, what helps me and makes me unique for it is my past experiences in life. I struggled with addiction for a lot of my adolescent life, and I've been clean about 4 years now. So that gives me a little bit of experience, strength, and hope to share with people that may be out there battling the demons of addiction or whatever it may be. And through my experience with the church and running a recovery ministry, I've actually been able to pick up on how to, I've learned a lot about grieving. I've learned a lot about pain and suffering. I've learned that that's something that we all share to some degree. I've learned about all these things, and at our church we say that everybody has an it. You just got to figure out what that is, and if you don't know what your it is, you're in denial. So that's it.
So everybody has a problem or a struggle or an it to overcome.
Yes, sir.
But you just have to. If you don't know what it is, you're in denial.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's how we go about it. And so a lot of people go to the trail looking to either escape that or to confront it and deal with it. And whichever they choose, I'm not here to judge whichever route they choose, but I'm here to just be beside them and to love them and support them.
So how would you initiate a conversation? You're out on the trail. You're going to start up in Maine and go down to Georgia, right?
Yes, sir.
So you'll start up there. How do you initiate a conversation?
Well, you know, I don't have talking points or anything like that. I believe everything is best when it's organic. So, you know, just being out with somebody in the wilderness has a ability to put someone at ease. It releases the tension, you know, and especially in the realm of a through hike, you're out there for the most part for a long duration of time, maybe not the entirety of the almost 2,200 mile hike that is the Appalachian Trail, but for a few days here or there. And, you know, so I believe it'd be best to let the conversation facilitate itself. And then, you know, I won't have any identifying marks or I won't have a name badge that says Trail Chaplain or anything. I'll have a patch on my pack that says Chaplain. It'll be down around my waist. And, you know, I don't exactly foresee myself going around knocking on tents talking about, hey, have you heard about Jesus? But I really just want to be out there to be present, and then if they have a question, to be able to answer that to the best of my ability.
And what sort of reaction, so you're the fifth, you obviously talked to the others that have done this, what sort of reaction have they gotten? Are people you know, welcoming? Are they kind of taken aback by a chaplain, or not happy to see a chaplain? You know, what sort of response do they get?
I'd say it's all in the approach you take, really. And I've been blessed to have 4 chaplains go before me, so they've all done it in their own way that is best suited for their abilities and their comforts and what their God-given gifts are. So, you know, it can't ever mirror one of them, but I can take aspects that I like from each of them and apply them to my hike. So, you know, for example, they, a lot of them said they were very warm and welcoming. You know, one of them was a gear expert, worked in a gear shop, so he was able to initiate conversations by his base knowledge of gear and the fact that he'd done the Appalachian Trail along with very experienced other you know, long-term hiking trails. Then another man, he prayed every day for God just to put who needed to be in his path. And so throughout that, they, you know, they were able to minister in their own context, but they were both very effective.
But sometimes people feel like, oh wow, you know, I don't want to talk to a chaplain, or if you say you're a chaplain, then it can change the dynamic of the relationship. And I just wonder, did they encounter people that say, you know, I don't want this isn't for me, get away?
Yeah, I believe they do. I've heard them say they have, but you know, that's like life in general. One thing that's appealing about this ministry, though, is it's a way for the church to go outside the 4 walls. It's a way for the church to be present where the people are, and you know, that's really appealing to me. That's something that's near and dear to my heart. So just to be able to be out there, and you know, part of the Appalachian Trail and part of my life as a Christian and in recovery is calling myself closer and deeper into community, and that's what the Appalachian Trail really is. It's a community from start to finish. You know, you can step one of the things I love the most about it is I can step on it whether I'm in Maine or Georgia or back home, Bland County, Grayson County, wherever, any of the surrounding areas, the Smoky Mountains. When I step on it, I feel connected to not only the people I'm with, not only to God and to nature, but to the people that have gone before me and the people that will come after me.
We've talked a lot about on this show how it is tougher to get young people, especially, into church. Here you have an activity, hiking the trail. It's going to mainly be young people. I think you were talking about maybe the oldest person is 82, they're trying to set history, but generally it's going to be young, healthy people. Do you think the people you will encounter are people who don't go to church generally? And when you talk about the importance of going outside of the walls of the church to meet people, I mean, who do you expect to meet as far as their relationship to church?
Well, first off, in this adventure, I expect to meet Jesus every day. So it's not only me going out to help people, it's also me growing deeper into my faith and trust and reliance on Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit. But for the most part, you know, from what I can tell, I've done a lot of backpacking with men in retirement age. And, you know, so it's a pretty widespread demographic of who's actually out there. It's a really cool microcosm of the culture and the surrounding areas in the world. People come from all over the world to attempt this challenge. But you know, for me personally, the people I expect to meet are just like me. They're just looking for an adventure. They're just looking for a challenge. They're just, you know, I've met just as many Christians going out there to hike just to enjoy life and to enjoy what God's created, as I've met people that are running away from stuff as well.
Why do you think it's so important now to have a ministry like this, where you do go outside the walls of the church?
Well, you know, one of my favorite pastors says there's ways of doing church that nobody's thought of yet, and as this is a way nobody had thought of yet until 5 years ago, I believe there's other ways to do that. So, you know, for me personally, I enjoy this because hopefully it gets people dreaming of how they can reach out to other people and how they can reach the lost for Jesus, how they can do ministry in their own hometown. I know not everybody's going to feel up to the challenge of a 6-month adventure in the wilderness. And you know, there's lots of things I'm not ever going to be up to the challenge for that just don't fit my personality suit. But that's why God made us all different. He gave us our gifts so that we could reach the world and tell them about the news of His Son. But mainly, I just want people to look at this and be inspired. You know, this was a dream of mine that through addiction, through loss, it had went out as a kid. I'd once dreamed about it, never took steps towards actually doing it. But God reopened a door for me to attempt this adventure, and it's got me dreaming again. And I like to say when I preach that nothing's impossible for the God who allowed me to start dreaming again. So whatever dream I have, if it's for His glory, then I'm good with that.
All right, I want to take a break. I want to come back then and talk more about your past and how you came to this point. You said it was a dream, but it was taken away because of your battle with addiction, and it's a fascinating story. All right, we'll take a break, be back right after this. Right.